Welcome to yet another fresh episode of Business Roundup. My name is Wadilo Mark Arnold, and this week we shall be taking a look at the cross-border developments between Uganda and Rwanda. We shall also give you an insight of the cybersecurity situation and how it has taken a notch higher in protecting your personal data. These and more in this episode. Stay tuned. Uganda government is seeking for an official explanation from the Rwandan government on why it closed all the 3 border points, including Katuna, the main border post of Rwanda and Uganda. Yet both countries are in the customs union of the East African integration.
Government has confirmed the closure of the Rwanda side border at Katuna in Kampala that was sealed off without notification to relevant Ugandan officials 2 days ago, blocking entry of close to 129 trucks carrying goods to Rwanda. Despite having very good bilateral, diplomatic and political relations, Rwanda has also closed Chanika border point in Kisoro, which has affected business in the Thursday market since there is no movement. After clearing 12 trucks at Katuna to enter Rwanda, a road diversion was put in Tunga municipality that traffic treks through Kajitumba. According to the Executive Director, Uganda Media Center of Onopondo, at Chanika, 5 vehicles carrying fresh foods like fish and mangoes were cleared. Rwanda officials claim there is road construction works going on their side of the border, hence the temporary closure of Katuna.
However, the passenger vehicles from Rwanda, buses, tourist vans, were being stopped on the other side, checked, and Rwandan nationals were being asked to vacate the vehicles and return to Rwanda. Ugandans and other nationals were being allowed to come into Uganda and proceed with their journey. There is no witch hunt against Rwandese in Uganda.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, is expected to summon the Rwandan High Commissioner to Uganda, Major General Frank Mugambaje, to give an official reason for the closure.
Being common borders that handle people and goods, we would want this lifted. We would like to have a conversation underscoring the need for normalization of activities at the common borders.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Internal Affairs has dismissed allegations that the son of Diosdado Cabello, the leader of the Venezuela's National Assembly, Tito Cabello, 17 years, used a Ugandan passport in the name of Tito Contreras to travel to China.
Internal Affairs has never issued any passport in the names of Tito Contreras, and therefore the allegations are unfounded. When I say the ministry, all those passports are issued under the seal of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So we have cross-checked in all those places where we issue them.
The Ministry of Internal Affairs has also clarified that no country has ever rejected the East African passport, thereby urging all people who received a message to go and get their passports from the passport office on Saturday. After working on these passports for 2 months, the passport office sent out 8,000 messages. I'm Nafka Farida and Sana Annette, reporting in Kampala.
The tourism industry registered over $1.4 billion in foreign exchange earnings in the financial year 2017-2018, making it the best performing year it has had ever since. It is with such success that various sector performers are coming together in an effort to tackle the sector's emerging bottlenecks and pave way for its double-digit growth. Tourism has become a sector to reckon with after registering success in the financial year 2017-2018. However, by 2019, attempts to market the sector met controversy with the Miss Kavi initiative and the change of ambassadors for the Tulambule campaign. So sector players are bridging gaps with emerging innovative solutions at this year's Innovative Series event.
These are all guys who are supporting the tourism industry. So we are bringing together experts with diverse views and experiences, and also products and services. They'll be able to showcase these to people who have not seen them before at the Innovation Series. So
it's something for us that we're thinking about the local tourism is what can I get covered in country as I move around. So what we're looking at really is that can we cover families that are going on short holiday? So you're able to buy cover that fits your destination, duration of how long you're there. You don't have to buy a full year cover.
Innovation Series is a set of annual thought leadership events that promote innovation in business through having debates. This year's focus is on addressing bottlenecks in the hospitality and tourism industry.
We are going to continue developing programs around this and obviously every time there is education at a postgraduate level, there is research. So those things kind of go hand in hand. So in terms of, say, looking for new solutions or looking for solutions within the context of the country, we're definitely doing that.
Despite the success registered in 2018, the tourism sector contributors lack trained talent, marketing, policy and access to financing. These and more issues that the Innovative Series event aims to solve. For UBC Business, Wadulo Mark-Arnold. Uganda's insurance sector has the capacity to match the region's average penetration rate of about 4%, says economist Dr. Peter Chimbowa. In his keynote speech at the insurance CEO's 42nd meeting, Dr. Chimbowa urged the CEOs to adopt new technologies and be innovative and collaborate. Currently, the sector's penetration is at a meager 0.8%, and this is despite the regulator and stakeholders' joint initiatives aimed at enhancing growth and penetration.
Thank you very much.
A lot of the activities that we have in business are driven by about 5 points. The first one is technology. The second is people, human capital, and innovation. Then you have the culture of collaboration and the knowledge, which is data. A lot of data is not structured. We don't have in insurance, there is no specific framework for harnessing data in order to make good business decisions. So that's what we were sharing with the CEOs this morning, is the need for technology to enable this happen and to enable the employees to think, to innovate, to check into areas that have been ignored.
And from Dr. Peter Chimbowa's observation, it is clear that using the historical data to develop strategy is not enough. So as CEOs, we must do much more. And much more means that we must focus on future as the beginning. We must focus on where we want to go and why we want to go there and how we want to go there. Then we can develop a better strategy, which definitely should move the entire insurance industry to the promised land.
The aviation industry in Uganda has continued to improve with further growth on passenger numbers reported as of the year 2018. Entebbe International Airport passenger numbers surged with a difference of about 200,000 from that of 2017.
The government target of having increased numbers of passengers at Entebbe International Airport, although looks far from attainment, there is a sense of optimism cast by the annual growth figures. In 2018, Entebbe International Airport posted a 10% growth, amounting to slightly over 1.8 million passengers handled by the facility, compared to 1.6 million in 2017. The difference is about 200,000.
There are many reasons why this growth happened. One, increased the number of Ugandans traveling for external employment to the Middle East and improved tourism promotion. of Uganda tourist attractions, which has, of course, attracted a number of visitors.
Interestingly, the number of domestic flyers is also on the increase. The traffic record indicates a 41.9% growth in 2018, the numbers being slightly over 26,000 as compared to 18,000 passengers in 2017. However, there was a downside on the cargo business, with a drop registered on the exports, further limiting on the earnings of the crucial foreign exchange.
However, exports by air declined a little bit, by about 4%, and the drop in exports could partly be attributed to the suspension of the UN food supplies to Southern Sudan, because it was one of the main.
The growth in this number implies further improvement of facilities and systems management on the side of Civil Aviation Authority and Entebbe International Airport. Although the authority was awarded the crucial ISO 9001-2015 for quality management systems, it isn't time to rest. The authority has carried on simulations on the airport's readiness to handle emergency involving aircraft hijack as well as air crash.
In aviation, these are mandatory exercises that we must take, because nobody invites either a hijack or a crash in our airspaces.
Kenya has, in the East African community, continued to lead with the number of air traffic passengers for 2018 having grown to about 7 million. Onyango Jackson reporting.
Uganda has over 100 community libraries that support research purposes of scholars within the country. However, most of these libraries lack access to sufficient reading resources like relevant books and a reliable ICT infrastructure. In a drive to reinforce the quality of learning in the country, AIRTEL Uganda is partnering with KCCA to install 4G internet access across some selected community libraries in the country capital, Kampala. AIRTEL Uganda recently announced full national coverage of their 4G network. The telecom company has now launched a corporate social responsibility campaign tagged Internet to Uganda Public Libraries to reinforce community libraries in Kampala with their 4G internet.
We really think we've done the right thing of touching people, and particularly for the students who are studying, which better way to study today than get online. And I think that's really what we have done today.
The company has signed a 2-year memorandum of understanding with Kawempe Community Library to provide the institution with 4G internet free of charge.
It means a lot. Young people need information, and for us, without internet, we are not giving the best service ever. It has been our dream to provide internet since 2011, and we have had a number of challenges with the service providers, which one to use, and funding, sustaining it.
Justin Chiyimba, the chairperson of the Uganda Community Libraries Association, asserts that ICT adoption in community libraries will hasten literacy adoption levels.
These community libraries, for instance, were set up to fight, among other things, ignorance, poverty, literacy, and disease. And so when you have internet, apart from the printed word, the internet is now going to provide a much wider, a lot more information than what one would get in the printed word.
Due to high poverty levels and the lack of sufficient land educators in Uganda, literacy adoption programs experience slow growth. However, ICT integration with the education sector is key if it is to realize drastic exponential growth. For UBC Business, Wadulo Mark Arnold. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has signed the Data Protection and Privacy Bill into law. This law expands the mandate of the National Information Authority of Uganda and will protect the privacy of individuals and personal data by regulating the collection and processing of personal information. Business Roundup had a chat with Arnold Mangeni, the Director of Information Security at NITA-U. This is another Business Roundup exclusive. Today, we are hosting Arnold Mangeni, the Director of Information Security at NITA. He's going to be sharing with us a few insights on cybersecurity and how far it can go to protecting your businesses. Arnold, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Nice having you here.
Pleasure.
Okay. Where are we as far as
IT security, cyber security is concerned?
Thank you very much. The most recent ranking, which was done by the Estonian e-Government Academy, that was sometime in September last year, placed us #1 in Africa. And they looked at a number of areas which they assessed. They looked at having mechanisms to respond to incidents should they happen, and we do have a couple of computer emergency response teams. They looked at organization. We have structures that can provide advisory services in the event that we need to seek for consultancy, free consultancy. We have the National Information Security Advisory Group, which has been vital.
How tight are we as far as protecting people's information? Basing on the fact that a few allegations have also been made about a one telecom company trading, information, keeping Ugandan information outside Uganda. It's an allegation still, it's a case building up, but judging from that example, how safe are Ugandans' information?
One, from the people that this information comes from, there is need for being cautious on how much information you share with these providers of service. Sometimes it's not relevant to share that much information. And remember, there are what they call agreements, terms and conditions of use, where you almost surrender whatever information you give over to the person that's collecting it, and you are allowing them to use it the way they deem fit. Now, there are some cases where that information might appear like it has been misused, but actually you signed away those rights. Now that is one category. There's another category where we ourselves that own this information, we do not exercise any form of privacy in the way we share this information. You take your pictures, whether you're on holiday or whatever, and then you post them on Facebook. You are telling someone that actually you're not at home. If you're on holiday, for example, you're telling someone you're not at home. So security at your home has been lowered. We trust a lot. That's the biggest problem. We trust a lot. And what comes out of that trusting a lot is that we share information beyond what we should. And sometimes we get culpable for failing our own security. The password, the PIN, is a key to your financial systems. It's a key to your information systems. And you should not share it. You should protect it. Don't write it down and put a sticky note somewhere for ease of remembrance. If you're very forgetful, you can fragment it. Write one half somewhere else, keep it, another half somewhere else. So it becomes very hard for someone to find two halves and know which half is first as they're reconstructing your password.
Have we had any major cybercrime incidences in Uganda that are eye-raising?
We have had a number of crime that relates to the use of technology, or abuse actually, of technology. We've had successful prosecutions as well. If you remember, there was a case of some Bulgarians that were compromising ATM infrastructure and, of course, causing financial institutions to make losses. That one was successfully prosecuted. We have other cases, but of course the challenge is we have structures in place to try and investigate as well as curb crime. But the onus is on the people, the victims of this crime, to report, which sometimes doesn't happen. And of course, people are scared sometimes because of their status in society to report some of these cases, because you would appear like everyone would start judging you. How can this happen to that person? But of course, that is why we have institutions. We have the police to help with the investigation and and resolving of those cases. So people don't report. We've had very many incidents where people have been defrauded of resources using mobile money platforms, where someone sends you a normal SMS claiming that he has transferred mobile money into your account. And shortly after that, he calls you and tells you that that money was meant for a doctor who was supposed to do an operation somewhere. He has a patient. They have so many stories. Yes, they do. Now, if you trust a lot, you actually find yourself sending back money, yet you did not receive money. And now, because you could be a person of high status in society, you feel ashamed to report. Yeah, but of course the police is there. Just report. They understand the nature of this crime. They will investigate to closure.
Wow. I think you guys are doing a major job. And like you said, I think some of it is seen, some of it is not seen. But now, as we draw closer to the end of this interview, I'm going to take you, we're going to discuss OTT in a more, should I say, informative point of view. OTT tax, over the top, is it over the top tax? Over the top tax. It's working on cellular data carriers, a phone, a smartphone. However, if I was to move with a MiFi on my phone, I would not need to pay OTT. So how come?
The MiFi is actually, the MiFi would need a SIM card. Now the SIM card that is running the MiFi device will have to have paid OTT for it to share. And that is allowed. If for instance I pay OTT, I can share my internet with another person and that person doesn't have to pay because I have paid. So that one is within the confines of the law.
Thank you so much, Anol.
Not at all.
It's been a pleasure having you here.
Okay.
On the international scene, the annual Mobile World Congress is the largest mobile-focused trade fair in the world and the place where many companies reveal their latest products. Held in Barcelona, Spain, the Congress is a global hotspot for technology and innovation.
I am at the world's largest mobile event, the Mobile World Congress, which is taking place in Barcelona right now. With 2,400 companies displaying their innovations to over 100,000 people from 200 companies, this year the event is all set to explore various hot topics ranging from 5G to emerging technologies and of course unveiling new gadgets and mobile phones. Right now, as you can see, I am at the Ericsson stand, which by the way is one of the more impressive stands at the event this year. And most of their revelations revolved around the deployment of 5G. For example, they've just announced 5G deals signed with 10 different service providers globally. They've also spoken and announced about deploying 5G in countries and continents ranging from North America, Asia, Europe and Australia. Well, the stand also has a lot to offer and I'm going to give you a quick tour.
In our sounds of business, the BIGODI Wetland Sanctuary, located in Magombe Swamp in Chibale National Park, is an area recognized for its extensive array of biodiversity. The BIGODI is a paradise for bird watchers with over 200 species of birds, among which is the most well-known bird, the great blue turako.
We have majorly 3 species of turakos: great blue turako, rossis turako, and black-billed turakos. Great blue turako is the most common, the biggest, and very special. It's what we use as our organization's emblem. It's what we put on our badges, on our certificates, because it's colorful and one of the biggest birds here. Yes.
We use the BIGODI Wetland Sanctuary that is 8 square kilometers and having papyrus in the middle and then the forest edges. Our walk is 2 or 3 hours depending on the speed and how much we see and the time we are having. We have over 200 species of birds, 8 primates, sitatungas, bush pigs, squirrels, otters, butterflies, mongoose, but I will never say that we see everything in just a short walk.
We've come into a new month, and now that we've come to the end of this business roundup episode, I'd like to share with you a few tips of knowing how many days are in a month. Did you know that you could count how many days by just getting your knuckles? The top of the knuckles, all those days have 31. And the ditches in the knuckles, all those days have 30 days, except February, which fluctuates. Let's take a look. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, and December. You see, it's simple. Try it, let us know what you think on our social media platforms. My name is Wadilo Mark Arnold. Catch me on the next episode, same time, same place, on the biggest business show in the country. From the team and I, it's goodbye.